Ideally, I would be reviewing Iron Lung and mostly telling you that this is one of the best horror, sci-fi, independent movie debuts by a new filmmaker, probably that's going to come out all year, and that it's just a great new independent movie and that people should just go see it, and that's the beginning and end of the review, and then just stretching that topic out and just saying, hey, cool new movie, cool, interesting new filmmaker, and that is the whole subject, because that is the most important thing to say about it. Cool new movie, cool new filmmaker, what a debut, wow, everyone go see this good movie. And instead, you also have to talk about the fact that a lot of the discourse around this movie, while very positive, is people being weird about it because it comes out as a quote-unquote YouTuber movie, which is in general unfair to movies made by people just because of where their careers originated, and also in particular unfair to this one because this deserves to stand on its own as a very good movie and a great debut, a sincerely wow, cool movie that I think most film critics from outside the digital media space, who clearly in the way that this is being received, coming to this very cold, brand new, fresh, not necessarily having heard of the director and star, Fischbach, Markiplier, relatively obscure video game Iron Lung that it's based on, any of the scene that made all of this come into fruition, and just coming to it as a movie that's as it should be. And instead, as always goes with these things, you have a media space that insists on this being judged and talked about as, it's a YouTuber movie. What does it mean for other YouTuber movies? How does it compare to other YouTuber movies? And honestly, I have no interest in discussing it in those terms other than saying up front that I have no interest in talking about it in those terms. Iron Lung is, straight up, simply put, good enough that it can stand on its own and be described as a great movie. As strong a first-time, right out the gate debut film as anyone has made in a long time. And if this had dropped just as it is, without the background or backstory of this being a very well-known digital media personality making an adaptation of a game that they played on their channel and that they've produced other content about before, and making the transition to full-on theatrical features, I believe would still stand out as, wow, this is just a good movie. It is well directed. It is well acted. Not asterisk for a YouTuber, just straight up. Yes, caveat, asterisk, do I run in similar professional circles to Mark? Yeah. Am I rooting for him? Yeah, in the same way that I'm always rooting for independent filmmakers with vision to succeed. But I will tell you right out, this is good stuff. It deserves to succeed. You should go see it. Not because it's a YouTuber movie and I'm glad to see a hometown hero make good. It's just good. It's just damn good. In any case, what we got here is a high-concept sci-fi horror movie. It's the future. There's been some sort of intergalactic apocalypse. A whole bunch of planets disappeared. Now there's this one planet with an ocean of blood as its surface, and a space convict has been welded into a submarine to go explore the blood ocean, which may or may not be full of monsters and other assorted mysterious stuff, to take photos using an X-ray camera, because blood, and see what he can find, and he may or may not be losing his mind while doing it. He can't necessarily pilot the ship and take pictures at the same time. He may or may not also be able to use the map and pilot the ship and take the pictures at the same time, so he's got to dart back and forth between his controls. There's also hidden secrets and things to find inside the sub while he's killing time, because this is based on a computer game, and that's kind of the mechanic of it. Now that's the parts where if you didn't know that this was based on a game, you'd probably figure it out. But here's the important thing, and this is where you can tell, okay, this guy is actually a damn good director of movies. He's also a damn good actor, because this is a single location, mostly you on screen the whole time, and he actually sells the claustrophobia, the I'm going nuts, but I'm trying not to recognize I'm going nuts feel. You gotta remember, this is a debut feature. This is exactly the sort of thing where you can try too hard or not hard enough and fuck up. This is setting yourself a big directing challenge, acting challenge. How do you make being in a submarine interesting for almost 127 minutes? And he pulls that off mostly through camera angles, where to put the camera, where to stage things, when to do a close-up, when to do a medium shot, lighting. Just real nuts and bolts filmmaking. It would be an easy cheat to just use a lot of surreal photographic effect, bust out the fisheye lens, overuse it, overdo it on filters, and instead this is all old school nuts and bolts, pull back, pull in, use the edit, long take, short take, just the stuff that normally you don't see in a first time approach. Normally you see use up every trick, spam the wipes and filters, and just do everything to be afraid of losing the audience's attention, and he's not doing that. This is such a well-assured first-time effort, and he's made himself the star. This is raw confidence, and I am so damn impressed. Getting back from that tangent, what really impresses me is that it would be very easy to lean on the based on a game mechanics and make this a storyline about process and procedure where we're following the map making and button turning and what to do just to keep the audience's attention. Instead, all of the game stuff is backgrounded. It's stuff that drives the plot and makes the plot move forward, but we are mainly locked in on characterization and watching a main character essentially go through a slow burn nervous breakdown, which is a much more difficult, much more challenging, but much smarter approach. Because if we're not invested in the personal human story of something like this, we're not going to care. You know, there is only so much you can get out of following process and procedure if we are not invested in a person. I think back to another movie that I loved back 2 years ago in 2024, Hundreds of Beavers, which also used much more literal, not based on a video game, but used video game logic approach to making a film out of. And that one used it for comedy, but it also told a strong character-based comedy story of a character surviving in the wilderness. This is not doing the same thing as that, but it understands in the same way that if we don't care about a character who is not necessarily supposed to be a super likable guy in this one, it's gradually revealed over the course of the story who this guy is and why he is the way he is. I'm not going to drop in on spoilers here, what is going on with him and why he would volunteer to do something like this. But this works. This is strong, powerful, cool stuff, and it also looks great. For a movie that is all basically locked into a metal tube and wants you to feel that it has a really cool industrial, grimy look to it, and then when it has to get slimy and goopy, I was looking at this and saying, wow, this is not at all what I thought this was going to look like by the time it closed out. And I'm trying to be as avoiding spoilers as I can, but this has a strong visual identity, strong sense of character, and strong sense of space and movement and visual design, and I cannot say enough good about this movie, perhaps other than it's a little on the long side. I know 120, 127 maybe minutes is not necessarily a super long movie. I think there are maybe a few too many times when it does the is this a dream, is this real thing. I think that there is a 90-minute masterpiece hiding inside a very good 2-hour movie here. But again, as first features go, this is one of the strongest first features I have seen in a while. This is one of the great first features and an excellent high-concept horror film, and you owe it to yourself to check it out. This is really good. 9 out of 10 to Iron Lung. Go see this.